Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor coming to bring you that boom bap breakfast. Yes, us, not just me holding the D. Coming straight from the DMV. You know him. You know the brethren. He goes by the name of Evan. Oh, I ain't put the Evan. And hey, what you gotta say? Every day is a beautiful day when we bring in your girl Renee Johnston.
You know, that was that little funky beat we had going. I like that.
You know who that's Chicago.
I was trying to place it. Okay.
That's
Okay.
25 to or 6-4. Ooh, y'all don't know about that. Yeah.
Heard that tune before, but I didn't know. I don't think I knew the name.
Yeah, well, I had to find something to go with the theme of the thumbnail. Chicago. Yes. All right, so what's good, y'all? Y'all looking good?
What's good? Sorry. Go ahead, Evan. Ask the question.
Hey, Doctor, how was your weekend?
Well, what happened this weekend? Oh, I just chilled out. I didn't do much. I still ain't got my vehicle back. I still ain't got my money back. So I stayed home and didn't do a whole lot.
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
I know about the vehicle. I thought you went the money stuff. I thought got handled.
They said 5 to 10 days.
Damn. Okay.
And you know what the worst part of that 5 to 10 days is they have your money.
Yeah. Right?
Oh yeah.
That's the worst part of it is they have the money. Like, just give you back. Like, they have the money. It's absurd.
Ain't like I'm a billionaire. I'm a low budget thousandaire. I mean, come on.
If they had to replace all the money in your account, it would still be pocket change to that bank. I guarantee you. So to Renee's point, they couldn't have just given you back the money, but they got to take you through the process.
Man, I got shillings. That's nothing.
Copper nickels.
Some curry shells. Take you back to Africa. What's good? How was your weekend, Evan?
It was good. It was busy. Lots of org stuff. Lots of meetings.
Mm-hmm. Sounds fun.
The work. Yeah, exactly. Still. Oh, I will say we wanted to have a action on Saturday, but we got we got snowed out. So pretty much all the stuff that we were going to do outside, we had to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sucks. It's 58 degrees here today. It's crazy. What about you, Renee?
Well, we had Laura and Sam on Saturday to talk about Canada, and that's just going to be like a forever going conversation, I think, because Canada really is just more fucked up than like even with all the fucked upness that I knew about, it's even more fucked up than I realized, which is crazy.
We never talk about Canada. Like, we don't talk when it comes to even slavery or whatever. Like, where did people go? How many people got? We never talk. Why is that?
I don't know, but we surely started the conversation on Saturday, and it's going to be ongoing.
What was your biggest? What did you learn from that conversation that you didn't know before?
I don't know that it was okay. Let me not say that, because I learned a lot that I didn't know. I did not know that Canada was like 80-something% white people, which is a lot of white people. It's a lot of white people. Yeah. And then I did not fully understand I knew they were really fucked up with the stealing of the land and all, you know what I mean? But the way that they have continued that pursuit is wild. Like, even to this day, the fight that's happening. there's just so many. I think really the biggest thing that I'd like for people to understand is the reason most people don't talk about Canada is that it quietly imperials in the shadow of the US. And so, people are so focused on what the US is doing and the US, that a lot of the countries that behave very much in the same way almost get like outshone by the vastness, you know what I mean? Like, but Sam said that you have to think about Canada as a larger Israel. And I think that was probably the thing that like had me like, you know what? That actually is a really good way to put it, because they basically installed a bunch of Europeans there. They stole the land. They installed a bunch of Europeans there, and now all the Europeans there think it's their land.
Oh wow! Well,
so, like, it's wild.
Well, Renee, let me bring up the Black Olsen twins so we can have a full house. Big up for Kim Brown and come out, Kate Franklin.
Wow.
That's the Olsen.
That's crazy since I'm so much darker than Kim.
I'm offended at so much. So much. If at all.
Oh man, what's good? I'm digging that hat, Kim.
It is a cool hat.
I wish I had the. Thank you very much. If I had the shearling hat with the ear flops on it, I would be wearing that. Son.
Yeah. Oh, the Shirley's back in the day.
Oh, that's right. Y'all up in East Coast. It hasn't warmed up yet, right?
I know, right? Ain't it sad?
No.
I know.
Ain't it sad, Kamal, that it's 58 degrees down here? We've seen a bit of snow.
I know, but y'all about to be hit with something. I mean, the temperatures plunge like 30, 40 degrees when you guys are anticipating winter weather.
We good down here.
Yeah,
right?
we good. Yeah.
There's like some snow.
It's beginning of February. I wouldn't speak so fast. My God.
Right.
There might be one more shot. One more winter shot down here.
It's crazy because up here the snow has not melted. So literally it's melted a little bit, but you would think it snowed yesterday. That's how much snow is still everywhere.
Ice mountains on every corner. Yeah.
Because it's so cold, we might have this like through March. Like it's not going to melt on the. That's what I've heard.
I mean, now when I wake up and it's 7 degrees outside, it's not melting with that.
And it's
7
crazy
degrees.
There's a significant amount of snow, but it looks like an ice skating rink on top of it. And you try to step on that, ear doctor, Kamal, y'all need to be careful out here because it's, you can hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's a large fall risk. I'm just saying
Wow.
Were you trying to say elders?
Yeah, it's an old joke. That was an old joke.
People who might be, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt y'all more. That's what I'm saying.
I'll take a young buck. I'll be an elder. What about you, Kamal?
Hold on, wait, real quick. Speaking of young bucks and elders, did I hear you off camera challenge or before you went live? Did you challenge Evan to a foot race?
Yeah.
I said, listen to this old man hubris. Sir, what are you talking about?
I want in on that.
You want in?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Let me tell you something.
Kamal look like he running slow motion.
Look. Y'all mess around doing this. I don't want to be anywhere near. I'm not taking nobody to the hospital.
I have health care. I'm not scared. I got insurance.
Who knows how to work?
Until you get is healthcare going to help prevent you from tearing your Achilles?
I'm just saying, like when it does happen, I got a place to go. I got insurance.
Sir, who's going to have the defibrillator on hand? Who? Who knows how to work them paddles? Evan is probably going to dust y'all in the race and then come back and do medic work and CPR work on y'all.
As long as he doesn't do something like turn around backwards and wave and keep running, I'm good with it. I'm good with a loss. But it won't be a loss.
Nah.
I feel like your children are too young, Kamal. They still need you. You should just.
Oh, it's on.
It's on.
It's on.
Yeah,
You can't challenge no old head. We go.
It's on, baby.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a whole Rocky thing.
What's the latest with community movement builders? What y'all doing over there?
I think I'm ready almost to announce. So y'all might like. We're getting a lot of social media love because we put a light bulb. Or a street light up because the city refused to put a street light So this is in Dallas. So we'll see if the authorities try to do something. But we put our own street light up. We made it solar paneled, powered. And so just the initiative to do that after over a year of asking the city of Dallas to do something because it was too dark in the neighborhood. So we did that. That part is hot. We are about to open up 2 new chapters. One is in Oakland, and the other is in Tanzania. So that is exciting. Our first chapter on the continent, working with veteran Panthers, Mama Charlotte and Pete O'Neill, have been organizing with young people since the 1970s. And they have helped us establish this chapter in Tanzania. So
Very cool.
Very cool. Talking about movement, community movement.
You know what I'm saying?
And bringing light to the community. Beautiful, beautiful. Because what does that, I mean, lighting dark areas makes a difference, right? In people's perception of safety, all kinds of things come out. Why a street light? I mean, I know you guys said that the community have been asking for it, but they have been asking for it because
same, because it's the particular area has been dark. People, particularly the elder crowd, has been complaining about it for years. The city's refused to move or do anything on it. And we helped petition for it, and again the city continued to ignore. So we decided to take things in our own hands. And together there's an organization or grouping that's called Ungrid, which is affiliated with us, and they have the know-how and technology. And so we did that a week or so ago. So if you check Instagram, there's a video up. It's gotten over 10,000 likes and shares and the rest of it. So it is something that people are seeing is like, oh, that is cool. That is needed. Again, one small aspect of showing that we can do for ourselves and showing the inventiveness of our people. So one small step in the right direction, I was going to say.
Yeah. I should have asked Kim first what she did.
come out is the light that shines special for you and me.
Yeah, right. So, Kim, how was
you had come out stand out there on the corner? It would have did the same goddamn thing.
Oh, she is on her colorism jokes this morning, boy.
Wow. You see how long that praise lasted? You see how long that praise lasted? You see how long that praise lasted?
First of all, in addition to color, that's why I voted against Kamau as a strike against colorism.
So we need to let our brown skin people get up front.
That's what I said. Then I got to tell Renee that yesterday. I said, how many people voted for Kamau? She said it's a majority vote. I said, well, put me in the against. I vote against that nigga. I'm opposed. It's on light-skinned people to dismantle colorism. And I want to start by stop putting these yellow niggas in charge of shit.
Oh, I agree with that. Except for this one. I'm the exception.
Of course you are. Yes, of course you are.
Right. So listen, y'all, we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. We didn't talk about a whole lot yesterday, but we had a good old time. You know what I'm saying?
This is news, but not news.
Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Erica.
Wait a minute, there was a show yesterday?
I'm done.
Oh. They joined the Remix Morning Show yesterday. Come
They did? Yeah. Was Jared on again?
Come on. He's teaching again on Mondays.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew we had some kind of Monday show or whatever like that.
But Air Doctor sent out the call and requested.
Why are you interrupting me while I interrupt the Air Doctor? I don't understand. It's not fair.
Because you be trying to do that weird thing where you're like, oh, this thing happened. You just be saying stuff.
What's weird about that? I didn't know that this thing happened. I mean,
you ain't get the text when I sent that.
It's a scroll. I do a scroll. It's a scroll. Unless I see my name, as light-skinned people do. Unless I see my name attached, it's like I don't gotta look at that.
There's that privilege.
I don't gotta look at that.
He was literally in the conversation when this was decided. If I remember correctly.
No, and I agreed with it. I gave my whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You agreed with it and then forgot about it.
Yeah, then I forgot.
I could go back to 4 days. It's cool with me. I mean, 3 days.
So
damn.
wait. So this is not news, but it could be news. I'm sure y'all have heard this thing, like the press conference that Trump had, where there's a rumor that he
Sharked?
basically that he shit himself, and then they broke up the press conference and rushed all of the media out.
Yeah, we
He
talked
took
about
him out there. He was like, y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta. Oh,
I just want to know if this
Wait,
is like
is that for real? Did that actually
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to see the video and hear the audio again because I didn't hear it. Well.
I just saw the video and I didn't have the audio, but at something he's in the middle doing his Trump thing. There's a ton of press in there, and then all of a sudden, people are all the handlers are rushing the media out, rushing them out, and then people are putting up things that said that yes, this dude basically shit himself, and then they rushed the people out or whatever, and he had a wall of people behind him too. So imagine those people who were not rushed out, at least from the video immediately, having to stand there and be like, "Yes, Mr. President. Yes, Mr. President. Yes, holding their nose." So I'm gonna find that video.
But how does anyone know? Was there visual or audio evidence? I'm just trying to ascertain the shark. Who initially?
Somebody said there was, but I did not hear it. I'm gonna find the video.
I mean, Just Hilarious was on the Breakfast Club the other day, and she had to run out the room because he had diarrhea. Shit happens. It happens. Y'all ain't never had diarrhea and had to run out of a room?
Not in public, like
not on air.
I had to run from my living room to my bathroom, right?
All
but
years of radio, you never had to run out and.
Well, I try to maintain good gut health, so I don't diarrhea is not a problem I've ever had, and I know how to take a 90-second bathroom break and run right back in before commercials is over. So no, I've never. No, and that's not a diss to anybody, but it's a diss to Trump. If anything, it's totally a diss to him. But that's nasty work, especially if you listen to the tapes and figure out how he got that. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up.
Right. It's only funny because it's Trump. I definitely have issues or whatever, but because it's Trump, I don't give a fuck.
Bad things are only funny when they happen to bad people.
Yes,
correct.
Right. All right, we got. We get into it now.
Breaking news, I think.
Okay.
Man, Josh is giving the people really want us to watch this.
I don't think you can hear it on here, but what you can see is people being rushed out. Do y'all want me to play it or not?
Yeah.
You done did all this?
The past, and I'm so proud of you.
And fellas, some great things happening, right? Yeah. Money is great, really great things happening.
So this is Mahina.
And some pretty big announcements over a short period of time, right?
Yep. Moving drugs over the counter, so you don't need a prescription.
Yeah, right.
Naloxone, which treats opioid, is one of those drugs. And we're being proactive with synthetic 7-OH, a new opioid that's showing up. And we're working with the DOJ on addressing that because chemists are coming up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
That's great. Now I hear fantastic things. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Oz. It's doing a fantastic job. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, please. Thank you.
Get the fuck out.
The new Fox poll that says people think ICE's tactics are too aggressive.
How did he get a signal though?
Is he penguin walking?
People heard it. I didn't hear it, whatever.
And they still standing behind him like it's all good.
Well, that's the staff. I mean, what are they going to do?
Ew.
Come out.
Well, some of those people are happy to do that, dear doctor.
All right, get that out of here, man.
Oh,
So
Mr.
I
President.
heard a little something. I wasn't sure what it was. I'm just saying it's an investigation. Congress needs to
Really? You're hearing sharks.
I don't know what else Congress is doing, so they need to investigate this. Did the president?
Oh my God! All right, we need a break now. After that, welcome to the Remix Morning Show, y'all. We're gonna talk about a bunch of stuff. Stay around. Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Air Doctor. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. Donate where at blkliberationmedia.org. Yes. Donate there and go get you some swag so you can get fresh to death. All right, let's talk about the weather. It's as I said before, it's 58 degrees here in Atlanta. DC got a high of 38. Not too bad, not too good. Chicago's at 24. Houston, 70 degrees. It's pretty nice in Houston. Big up. New Amsterdam, Guyana. They got a high today of 84. And last but not least, let's take it to the motherland. Fez, Morocco. They got a high of, what's that, 50? Yo, a lot of people think it's always hot in Africa, but it's only 50 degrees in Morocco. That's wild. And you know that's on the west coast, west side. That's not that hot, but I'll tell you what got some attention that was hot. The mayor of Chicago doing an executive order to make his police people police the ICE people. So I kind of like this mayor. He always says what he needs to say. He addresses the media the right way. You know, they all got to do their mayor stuff, so we ain't gonna like it all. But I like this dude. And yeah, executive order to get the police to police the ICE. So big up to Mayor, what's the dude's name again? Brandon Johnston. All right. With that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah.
How'd y'all feel about that?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to ask you guys what you thought about Brandon Johnson's announcement, or rather his executive order. I mean, sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
don't know.
We got crickets.
All right. But when I say it sounds good, I mean, I don't know how enforceable it is, right? Like, okay, good luck getting the cops to investigate each other. I have a clip but there was an interview with the former chief of detectives from Chicago, asked about Brandon Johnson's executive order, and he was like, no. It's basically what he said. Like, I don't see Chicago police opening investigations on fellow federal officers. I mean, why would they do that? So it sounds good, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any police officer like somebody coming on their grounds and trying to run shit. Like, so
unless it's the MAGA army, then the regular cops are like, stand back and stand by. You know what I'm saying? They just stand aside because they know ultimately they're all in the same gang.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to minimize. I'm gonna say the good stuff first. I don't want to minimize the work of organizations on the ground in Chicago. I know that organizations have been involved in that push to get him to sign something like this. And it does feel, for me, it feels concerning because it feels like it's playing into this rhetoric that we've been seeing a lot around that separates police from ICE, right? Mm-hmm. That separates, like, this is all a part of the same security state. My understanding is that it allows for commands, I guess, Chicago PD to document and I don't know if prosecute maybe is the right word. I need to, but illegal activities by ICE, right? So essentially the solution has been to put more power back into the state, right? And I worry about the sanitization of the Chicago police, who, as we all know, right, are just as, just violent like as any other police force in the country, right? And actually ran torture sites, right? We all know about these torture sites that they ran in Chicago. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to dismiss like the work that went on the ground, but I do feel like this is going in the wrong direction. And for what it's worth, from Pocket's perspective, this would not be power, right? This is not how we would define power.
Mm-hmm. All right, I guess Renee and Kamal are ready to move on. I'll catch y'all later.
I didn't mean it like that. I was trying to get this. I was signing in. So I apologize. I always forget about the attendance thing. Can I not show that still? Like the attendance record thing? It's so cute. We have to sign in to work now.
What do you mean? Can you not show that? I don't know. What do you mean?
Can I show it like on air?
I mean,
I have good attendance basically. So when you have good attendance.
You're just talking about you.
That's literally all he's talking about.
Yeah. I mean, everybody else has their name up there too, but I'm just saying I have good attendance.
You wasn't here last Thursday.
Oh, damn. Okay. I didn't say perfect. I said good. And speaking of good, it would be good if people dropped a donation down for us, because We are the Remix Morning Show. We are remonetized on YouTube. Who knows how long that'll last. Thanks everybody who has shared and given so far, but we definitely need you to step it up. We need to get more members all over the place, whether or not it's Patreon, but here now back on YouTube for the time being. All of your support helps. It helps us keep this channel going. It helps us support members. It helps us support works. It helps us support an expansion of activities. So please, please, please don't be shy. Y'all can drop a little something, something. Drop some change today. At least 10 of you.
What other stories we want to get to, or do y'all want to say anything else about the Chicago stuff?
I mean, ultimately, I would like to see more Black folks in leadership positions, in misleadership positions. At least do that. Do even if you have no power, which I don't think that this executive order is really going to have any power, because ultimately these police departments are not beholden to these mayors, even though the mayor can hire and fire the chief of police, etc. And allegedly the police departments are supposed to act at the order, whatever. You don't have any power. Muriel Bowser doesn't have any real power over Metropolitan Police. Brandon Scott doesn't have any real power over Baltimore Police. I mean, local police departments are an arm of power, right? And I think they're really maybe co-equal, if not stronger, apparatuses of power than elected officials. So if Brandon Johnson wants to push the papers from one side of the desk to the other with a signature on it, that's great. I mean, the press conference was very inspiring. People, he had a lot of applause. I mean, it sounded great, but again, how enforceable is this? Will these cops do as they have been directed to do? And the answer very likely is no. So what did you do? I'm glad he did something. He said something, but ultimately it may be a futile effort, but it was an effort. I don't know. You see, I'm betwixt and between.
I know. I feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, in so many ways, I think what Brandon Johnson is doing is kind of like the bare minimum, right? Like it should be framed at least as the bare minimum, right? And I think he stands out because there's been such a lack of leadership within the Democratic Party and such a lack of pushback. So props to him for that. But yeah, I do think that at the end of the day, what this is serving to validate, right, a different set of occupation forces, right, to so-called police, the one that we're supposedly focused on right now. In particular, because they're killing white people. I think that that's important to state. Like, this is not, they have been violently kidnapping people, right, since they were created, right? But now that violence is hitting communities that it wasn't supposed to hit, all right, or coming to communities it wasn't supposed to come to. So,
Yeah, big news would be if they stood out the way, at the very least, if they stood to the side, and when there was protest action, let the protest, as opposed to coming in with tear gas and other devices to move the crowds back. Why not? If they arrested an ICE agent for violating the law, that would be like, again, not necessarily something that makes you say yay to policing, but it would make you see some ideological shift. It would make people see an ideological shift about what's possible. So if he wants to do stuff like that, then I'm like, do that. Like, I don't need a paper signing ceremony. Tell your officers to stop arresting protesters. And this is for all these mayors who so-called liberal type mayors. Stop arresting protesters. Stop stopping protesters from breaking up ICE assaults. And then have your officer arrest an ICE agent. Cause that kind of controversy. I'm telling you, if the shoe was on the other foot, and there's these Republican governors and mayors, there's no boundaries for when they are white supremacists. They're wholeheartedly white supremacists. There's no boundaries. The problem is that we expect the folks who are siding with these white supremacists to take bigger actions, and they're never going to take those big actions because they actually believe in the state, or they believe in the United States projects, whether they're black, white, or whatever. They actually believe in it. And so for them, they think they're going to ride this through. How do we ride this through until the next election? How do we ride this through until the Democrats take Congress? So that's where they're getting their energy from. It's not about causing a rupture, which has already been there on the other side, or leading people to some different views about what's taking place. It's like, how do we ride this out? And at the same time, show we were in some opposition, right? We were opposed to Trump's most extreme his most extreme policies is something that they'll say. And then when they get back in office, for the most part, they'll leave it all intact. So,
well, no, they'll make sure they don't wear masks. They'll give them body cameras. They'll give them more de-escalation training. And
they'll put them in places that are not as public again, right? Just like like Biden with the caging of folks, he didn't stop caging families. He didn't stop separating families. He just did it in a way in which he got the media to say, look at this as opposed to look at that. Or we're not going to make it as extreme, that kind of thing. And I think that's what's going to happen with the Democrats. They're not going to stop ICE. They're not calling for the abolition of ICE. They're going to figure out ways in which a lot of this still happens, but they take it someplace else where it's not interrupting brunch, right? And where they're not killing white people.
But also, the only thing though is it is still happening quietly in places where the cameras aren't on and people aren't taken to the streets. And, like I listened to, I don't even know what I was listening to. And they were like, this trauma of the separation of families. And I was like, I'm sorry, where the fuck have you been? Like, this is not, it's so infuriating to me. The level, like the ability that people have to see something right now, and because they paid no attention to it, like before this year, like all of a sudden now it's like, oh, this new thing is happening. It's not new. They've been separating families for decades. And I understand that it's traumatizing for people to see it in front of their faces in their neighborhoods and their schools. Like I get that it's traumatizing, but people really need to understand that it is not new. Obama built the cages. They've been there for decades. And it's real, like it's almost exhausting to listen to. And this is not real. Like, I know, Kamal, you know this, but like I hear people saying like, like, look at what's happening in this place because that's what's on the news and that's what people are talking about. But ICE is literally doing the same job that they've been doing all over the country for decades. And because people are not coming out in the streets, because people are used to them snatching up people when they feel like it, like this is what happens. And Dre is right. We talked about this, and it's progressive inertia. Like, it's this constant like pretending to move towards a thing when nothing is actually happening.
Yeah. I feel like this wraps into the first two stories on the run sheet if we want to go to those. I almost feel like
y'all don't want to two-step into the news?
No, we get two-step into the news.
Y'all just go all out of order. My tism starts to act up when shit is out of order. Like, come on, we got to stick to the routine now.
You need us to throw the satellite? You need the...
Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday edition of the Remix Morning Show on this, the third day of February 2026. Today, we are joined by esteemed colleagues, Evan, Kamal, Tuesdays with Renee. I'm Kim Brown. The Ear Doctor is in the cut. Remixers, I want y'all to join me real quick in a send of positive vibrations and affirmations going out to my kinfolk, Erica Brown. Erica, that's how you got to say it when you see it. Call her Erica. Erica is defending her dissertation on today. So if everybody could please bow their heads to whatever divine force that you hopefully submit to. Come out, you can keep your head up. We would like to thank, first of all, for Sister Erica's tremendous acumen, her intellect, her tenacity, her stick-to-itiveness, and her dedication in this pursuit of academic endeavors. We pray, oh heavenly Mother and Father and non-binary universal deity, to please guide her hand, fix her face, her words, make sure she goes in there and defends that dissertation with the barest of her hands, with all of her research and all of the support from her academic advisor. Right. So, in everybody's name, please say amen. And please, no, seriously, wish Sister Erica good luck today as she defends her dissertation. She's going to come out of this a reverend doctor, and we need a doctor in the family. So, shout out to Sister Erica. The brokish gals come out here doing big things.
True.
Yeah. And I am definitely going to listen to that. She was like, damn you, I knew you was going to say yes. I was like, you knew I was. There was no shot I wasn't listening to that. What?
Yeah.
Should we put the link out for everybody? Or you don't want that?
No.
Oh, my bad.
No.
I don't think she wanted that.
There you go. Come out.
I'm like,
tell, run, tell
that.
I was trying to be helpful.
We'll just come back and report how she successfully defended after.
That's true.
What is that? I know nothing about it. When you defend, do you have to go in there armed? What are we talking about? Like,
no, it's actually mostly ceremonial. I think once you get to this point, all the commentary and the feedback and the rewrites and everything is done. And it's just a matter of kind of everybody saying yes, like, asking their last.
Giving a lecture of your. Yeah, you're basically standing there talking about your dissertation, whatever your topic is, to your advisors. And most schools provide a space for an audience, for your family to come, friends to come, people who are just interested in the topic to come. And you defend, and then it's a question and answer period, an investigation period, where they respond back to things that you say, and you get a chance to respond back to them. And yes, it depends on how, although maybe some of it is ceremonial, sometimes they really do ask tough or hard questions, and they want you to think on your feet, and you give an analysis of how you collected your data. Why do you think this? What about this imposing fact that doesn't match with what you said, and why you're suggesting that fact doesn't augment the argument that you're making, but actually supports it in some way. And then that goes on, and then they basically, I think usually, unless you're really bad at it, give you bestow upon you your doctorate degree.
I mean, I wonder what about Dr. Umar? You think he went through such a? You know what? Let me leave that man alone. Congratulations.
Probably yes. If I think his doctorate is real.
It's a real doctorate. Okay.
And he's definitely had to stand up there.
Wait, he really is, like, for real? Like, not like
he does really have a doctorate. I do.
Really?
Huh. Renee and I are shocked.
I think he's I think he's actually a doctor.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm sure he probably gave a grand if he had to do. I don't know, like, in terms of the psychology department as opposed to other ones.
The best is Evan is looking it up right now to confirm.
Clinical psychology.
It's psychology, right? It's like I don't know if he has to do the grand defending of a dissertation.
Doctor. Okay.
Yeah, but I would assume that he probably gave one hell of a if he has the flair then that he has now. I'm sure he gave one hell of a defense to his dissertation.
So his PhD is in clinical psychology. That's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
From what university does it say? Is it the University?
I closed the window too fast. I was like, that's all I need to know.
Now, first of all,
I
support.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go. You got the information. Go ahead, Evan.
He graduated from Millersville University before graduating in 2012 from the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine with a PsyD, or a Doctor of Psychology in Clinical Psychology.
But that I don't know if that's the same as a PhD. Is it the same as a PhD?
I think it is.
Is it? Okay. I don't know. I'm that's really a question. I'm not.
You don't know, but you are doubting. There's a doubt. There's a doubt in your.
I mean, he's
no, I get it,
jackass.
The way it's written is different, but I don't know.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Okay, because a PhD is a PhD, no matter what it's in. Like, it's not.
Well, officially,
like we don't know people with PhDs who are idiots.
We get it, Air Doctor. You want us to talk about Epstein. Noted.
Is that why he wants us to talk about Epstein?
Yes, I don't know what he's like.
It's a connection. Doctorate, Epstein.
He just really wants us to. They didn't get to it.
Get off of this. We're stuck on this for too long. Okay.
He's restless. Yeah.
Okay. So you brought up the first two stories. Which one do you wanted to talk through first? That was highlighting some of the stuff.
We can do them quickly. Do the second one. Do row 5 first, and then we'll get to row 4.
Oh, that doesn't help me at all. You mean the one with the fireman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my God.
I don't know who's worse. But I feel like y'all younger folks, you guys have been trained to see things in spreadsheet, and in a way, I feel bad for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost feel sorry for you. Like, Jesus Christ, how can y'all read these little ass cells so clear? Like, y'all brains have been wired in spreadsheet reading. It's so unfortunate.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Kim. But I'm glad I can use my skills for good, unlike Dr. Umar. Anyways, so this is I wanted to pull this story because I think we've been again talking a lot about how these institutions are supposed to be separate, right? Police are supposed to be separate from ICE, right? Police are supposed to be holding ICE accountable, arresting them or whatever, right? We haven't even talked about firefighters, and I think this one actually kind of surprised me. But here, the fire department helped ICE by giving them access to one of these little ladder trucks, right? That should be used for an emergency. Instead of an emergency or an actual fire, they used it to help ICE, gave them harnesses so they could chase and harass and kidnap people who are working on a roof. So you can see them chasing these people around this roof. Eventually, they do tase someone, and they kidnap, they pepper spray somebody, tase and pepper spray somebody while they're on the roof, and eventually kidnapped 9 people. So,
where was this, Evan?
Where was this? This is in Midland. This is in
Midland,
Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Texas. So the sheriff, the Texas Sheriff Department was there. The fire department was there, all working hand in glove with ICE. Don't know why you need to chase them on the roof. They have to come down from the roof eventually. But
no, they don't, because remember, that's how somebody got away. They just stayed up there until ICE gave up.
ICE, I mean, there's no place to go. They were on a roof. People were going to have to use the bathroom, get hungry. They could have done it. I mean, again, if somebody got physically injured or killed, they just wouldn't give a damn, right? Because they were resisting.
They were resisting. Yeah, I mean, how many people get hit by cars? Somebody did fall off a roof, if I remember correctly.
They did.
It's been.
And then in some cases, the community has shown up and prevented ICE from taking people that were on the roof working. Where was that? Upstate New York, they did that. I want to say in the Minneapolis area, maybe Chanhassen, somewhere they did that. They came out and protected the people on the roof from ICE and either waited ICE out or intimidated ICE into leaving. Mm-hmm. But I guess not in Midland, Texas.
Mm-mm.
Apparently not in Texas.
Because in Midland, Texas, the fire department is like, hey, we're here for you. And we'll give you this ladder that was supposed to be for other things. The fire department has nothing to do with ICE, right? They're not, one is federal, one is local. Their missions have nothing to do with each other. But yet it was like, hey guys, hey fellow white supremacists, we want to come get these immigrants. It's like, oh, of course we can help you do that. Yeah, let's keep our country strong,
Right. And not trying to say there's not contradictions or like some firefighters in some cities don't like the cops or whatever, right? But trying to paint this picture of how these different organizations operate in tandem, right, to support the state, right? So just want to clarify that, right? Now let's go to that first story, because where these people are being kidnapped to is also important. Mm-hmm. But recently, again, at a Texas detention facility, so these things are clearly connected, right? ICE has halted all movement at a detention center in Texas for families and quarantined some migrants after medical staff confirmed 2 detainees had active measles.
Jesus Christ.
Infections. Active measles infections, right? It's important to note this ICE facility houses parents and children taken into federal custody over alleged violations of immigration law, right? So just to what we were talking about before, these families are here, right? Being exposed to this, being kidnapped, being abused, right? And now suffering this measles outbreak. Apparently, there were cases detected on Friday, even though, right, and that's when the statement was made, even though immigration lawyers have been repeatedly reporting concerns about a measles outbreak. It's at the Dilley Center, I don't know how you pronounce it, Diley. And I want to point out that Tricia McLaughlin, the DHA spokesperson, said, quote, all detainees are being provided with proper medical care, end quote.
Go fuck yourself. Not you, Evan.
I feel you. Because what prison, what jail what U.S. state gulag, right, do we know of where people are getting proper medical care? Do we not hear about this all the time, where people are literally setting themselves on fire at Red Onion, right, to get out of those types of violent, conditions that they're in, right? So like, I don't know, man. It's just the way that they lie so confidently and so, matter of factly. That's just, completely disgusting. But, I want to point out that like even lawyers are concerned right now that they've made this statement, or now that they've like publicized this, because lawyers are concerned that they'll be prevented from actually accessing their the people on their caseloads, right, or accessing their clients because of the conditions in the facility, right? So because you've let conditions deteriorate so bad, you've stopped all movement, right? Now you might not be letting the lawyers in, so so you'll continue to restrict access, which already has been happening, right? They don't need an excuse, but they're already doing that. And just want to point out the fact that 2025, the U.S. had the most measles cases in decades. That's 2,200, more than 2,200 or 2,200 measles cases, including 762 people, in a West Texas outbreak, in which 2 children died and 99 people were hospitalized. Also important to note that more than 70,000 people are currently in ICE custody, facing deportation at detention centers across the U.S. That's according to government data, so it's probably an undercount, and that's up from 40,000 a year ago. So,
and just to be clear, like measles is no joke. I know that generations X and younger, and maybe boomers and younger, don't think about measles as a deadly disease because we have seldom had to confront it directly, but measles used to kill people by the hundreds of thousands. Not all that long ago, before it was nearly eradicated in the early part of the 21st century. But what measles does, not only can you contract measles from a person in an area that may have left said area hours ago, because the virus literally just hangs in the air for hours, similar to COVID, but measles literally erases your immune system, right? Any type of immunity you had to anything in your life, and yeah, I'm assuming this is for unvaccinated people, but I'm really not sure if it matters at this point, but a measles exposure can absolutely be fatal, and it can spread extremely quickly. And I find it interesting and unfortunate that this measles outbreak might be allowed to spread unabated, putting the ICE officers or the correctional officers themselves at risk. But again, this is whites, and this is part of their biological warfare to make sure that the spread of disease happens to populations that they don't like. So, but no, that's
biological warfare on themselves, to be because they are
right. And correct me if I'm wrong. I thought there was like a measles are gone, and then now under the
practically supposed to,
right? We don't do measles as a requirement anymore, apparently. Yeah. And so, and I say we use loosely, people don't get at me, but and so now, and there have been various outbreaks all over the country, so no one should I would not be shocked if this was not the first time or the first facility in which there was a measles outbreak. There was a big scare because apparently somebody going through Newark Airport the other day, they found out was walking through with an active measles outbreak. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on with this that,
And that the outbreak is because of the relaxed ways that we are now treating measles as an infectious disease, and giving people like all these supposed religious and or choices, or suggesting that the vaccine harbors so many side effects that somehow the vaccine is not effective, even though no medical research has shown that the vaccine in its usage causes so many side effects that are worse than actually getting measles. So so you're right, like a disease that was practically eradicated is now being allowed to spread, particularly in Texas, again, where people have stopped vaccinating their kids, live in clusters of communities, and have spread measles, where that is now a deadly infectious disease that is returning, and will only get bigger as these policies de-emphasize the use of the vaccine and don't make the vaccine as don't make it as widespread for people to be able to get it as it has in the past because of these new policies, right? These new ideological thoughts, which are not based on anything to do with scientific research.
And I just want to point out Kamal's air doctrine, because he literally just said people don't be vaccinating their kids anymore.
They don't. People don't be vaccinating their kids.
Vaccinating.
Vaccinating is a better way to say it. It's better and blacker. People don't be vaccinated.
I would agree.
Oh, that was funny.
I mean, but ultimately, the spread of disease is without question a function of the conditions inside, right? People not being given access to clean water, folks not being allowed to wash their selves, their hands, the nastiness of the food, the just you break down people's physical strength and their immune capacity when you degrade the conditions of which they are forced to live in, which obviously are, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not petri dishes, but you know, points of infection, right? Like they just make it so that the disease can spread faster, quicker, and be more deadly.
And viruses are smart. Like Evan, I believe Evan, is this your wheelhouse? Do I like is this your wheelhouse? Like I feel like the other thing people don't consider is that viruses are very, very smart. So the measles virus that we were fighting whenever this first started, however many decades long ago, there is possibility that there's a different strain of it because people who are vaccinated are getting the measles.
Shit.
Right? So yes. Yes, Kamal. So
how long does that measles vaccination last? It's not good. My pre-K vaccination still not holding up.
No, I think we should check that out because I think overwhelmingly the cases of measles are coming from people who have not been vaccinated or they're expanding.
Look, I would be happy to be wrong, to be honest, but you know, so there's also, I thought, even with vaccination, there's also, somebody just said in the chat that not everyone who gets the vaccine develops a specific type of immunity. And I don't know, my question was really, is that because viruses tend to change, right? Like if you reintroduce a virus to a population, is there not a possibility that it will change? Like that's why the flu vaccine is so, you know, like you can get it, but you can still get the flu because it depends on which strain of the flu you get exposed to. So I mean, this is really a medical question. I don't know that I actually know the answer to it. I was really just asking.
Evan, are you a medical doctor? You know things?
I am not, Kim. That's so kind of you to ask. I'm not.
A virologist? What? Go on. What is your expertise? Why does Renee think you know about this?
Because I majored in biomedical engineering in school,
I just want everybody to be clear that even though he made that face, I do think that it's right to say, like,
of all of us on the screen, the person who most likely has an answer based on logic or science. And not just what they think should be
right. So just so y'all know, that wasn't randomly like out of nowhere. I really actually thought Evan might know the answer to the question.
It wasn't random. It wasn't random. I just haven't researched it. This is the first time I heard about the measles outbreaks, and I know that they've reduced the amount of vaccinations people are getting and vaccination recommendations. I don't want to get into this here. Vaccines do work, right? Science works, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to confuse, right, the scientific principles with like the application that the state and like how it's used by the state, right? So we should always kind of separate those. But yeah, I'm happy, I'll do more research into this and look more into it. I just haven't.
Yeah, I'd love to know. And it's more out of my own curiosity about how these things all work. You know what I mean? To understand it a little bit better. But I mean, I got my measles shot. So,
but is it a lifetime vaccine? I mean, I'm trying to think the last time I got measles, mumps, and rubella. It was the last time I ran high school track.
What is it? Is it a 3-shot series? The MMR thing?
I thought they gave it to me all at once, but baby, I was 30 years ago. So, I mean, is this vaccination still good 30 plus years on?
Oh yeah,
supposedly yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
But you know who has an answer for us also?
Oh God.
Let's bring up the ear doctor. The ear doctor.
I'm not.
Oh God, just now.
You're not gonna, you're not what? You're not going to take the bait?
I'm not answering no questions, man. Y'all do y'all.
I already know the answer. First of all, ear doctor, I know you've been vaccinated against the measles because you played high school sports, right?
Nah, I haven't.
You didn't? Did you play high school sports?
Yeah.
Yes, you were vaccinated.
I think I was like 6, 7 years old back then.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a choice back when me and you were doing it.
Yeah,
like now lined up in school and they just gave you shots.
That's right.
It wasn't like a lot of
pushback.
Like
like now I get.
I just want to highlight this comment from Josh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but just to get the facts right, as of January 30th of 2026, the South Carolina measles outbreak reached 847 cases. 94% of cases classified as unvaccinated or having an unknown vaccination status. And then part 2, approximately 695 of the infected individuals were unvaccinated, while over 88% of the cases were children under 17. So do want to just count out, like, the people getting it are mostly unvaccinated, and the virus being able to spread amongst the unvaccinated population is what forces it or allows for it to kind of morph, change, adapt, and then makes the actual vaccination that other people are getting not as effective. So this is why vaccinations work in terms of population, but not like on an individual kind of basis. Sorry, here, doctor, please go ahead.
Oh, I have nothing to say on this topic. I just do me and let y'all do y'all, and we all get along.
I'm sad now.
Yo.
No, Kamal was trying to get you in trouble,
he was.
And I feel like this was unnecessary to try and do this in this way because Air Doctor got this particular vaccine. So, like, why are you trying to get him?
I don't know that he got this particular.
You didn't have a choice
until he said he did not.
But you didn't have a choice.
No, but he said he didn't get it. So that's why I was.
But me and Air Doctor are the same age, and so in order to go to school, you had to get these vaccines. They wouldn't let you come to school; it was required.
Yeah, particularly in the big city areas.
Yeah. So there's no,
And they used to be so bad that you had this big mark on your arm for like 2 years, right?
Yep. I remember that
big circle mark. Yeah.
And like now, my kids, we do the religious thing, so they ain't got to take all the shots that they make.
Whoa. Your children aren't vaccinated for measles?
Nah, we'll do all those.
That's crazy work, dog. That's crazy work. Woo!
They seem to be all right.
They seem to be. Praise the Lord Jesus. Knock on all the wood. Jesus.
Yes. Knock on Jesus, Buddha, all y'all outer themes and ghosts and ghouls and goblins y'all believe in. But just I just do the pre-medication.
The pre-medication? What's that?
Fruits and soursop, sea moss, fruits and vegetables, all the different things that come from the earth.
Community sea moss?
Hey, if I've had some before, so
that one has some special anti measles stuff in it.
Wow.
Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the money, Kamal.
Not medical advice.
I couldn't even get it out. I couldn't even get it out that time. I'm
terrible. Listen, man,
the chat saw what we tried to do. Y'all saw us try, right? make an honest attempt.
Yeah, I mean, everybody the chat knows how I get down.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
I know. I just want you to know how measles gets down, my guy. Like, anyway, I'm not gonna argue with you, but
I'm about to say I ain't been sick in so many years. I ain't had no COVID. I ain't had none of that. So,
but the thing is,
you have
but I'm saying you keep trying to put the fear mongering in me, and it's not working because I haven't been sick.
It's not fear mongering, but Air Doctor, you've had some vaccines, right? So that's
I had one like back in the day when I had to.
Probably had about 4 or 5.
Why are you telling me what I had and you're asking me?
Mix them together because you wouldn't even know.
Because you attended school in America. That's how I know.
1, 2, 3 Mackable for $9.99. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I know we need 7 more. We need 7 more donations.
Big up to go ahead and say that one.
Anonymous Grasshopper, isn't it?
Okay, there you go. Sending in $10. Big up to my boy Latif, sending in $5. You know what I'm saying?
We need 7 more. We need 7 more. What's going on? What's going on? Otherwise, either that or y'all gotta have to go buy community CMOS and protect yourselves as the new vaccine from measles. You know what I'm saying? Not about the old vaccine. What about that new vaccine?
Don't do that.
Isabel said, "Mommy, daddy, stop fighting." Do you, y'all? Do you and stand confident on whatever you do, man? That's all I gotta say, man.
I just think about Renee just said that there was a case in Newark Airport about possible measles exposure. There was one here similar at Reagan Airport where they were telling people if you were in Concourse C, if you rode the bus, if you caught the metro, if you were in this urgent care, you need to go get checked. And I worry about people who have never got a measles vaccine, who might be just out in public in the world and might come across an area that has been contaminated by someone with the measles infection. What happens to those folks? Adults, children, all of them, the gamut. It's probably not good.
What is this?
What happens is they go get themselves some community CMOS and out of their body.
And some sour sop.
Some sour soppy.
Get all those things that come out of the earth that, since we made from the earth,
And
but anyway, what do I know?
I agree with that, but I just want to say,
stop.
Listen, no. This goes for all. No. I gotta say this. I'm sorry. I gotta do the break. I gotta say this. All right. We need to act as though we live in a country that does not have a healthcare safety net. Okay. So that means we need to take as many precautions as we can to preclude illness, chronic illness, active contagion illness. We don't have a place where we can go get well and they will take care of us. So we have to preemptively do things to make sure that we take care of ourselves and our immediate loved ones. I'm done.
All right.
All we're saying is, Ear Doctor, we want you on those 1s and 2s.
I'm with you on. I'm with you on this one.
We want you on those 1s and 2s. You know what I'm saying? We just got.
I'm with you on this one,
bruh. I have not missed a Remix morning show because I haven't been sick or anything in 5 years. So why are we still talking? Can we continue?
Me too.
Yeah, right. I seen y'all sick. Anyway,
sick, homeboy.
Oh, I have. Yes, I have. Kim, please.
Me
5 years, maybe once. I don't get sick, baby.
You hear how she said.
But number one, I'm not claiming that I don't get sick because I eat soursop, nigga. I don't get sick because I wash my hands.
I don't get sick because I eat soursop. I eat community CMOS, and since I've started, I've not had a cold. I've not had a measles infection.
All right.
I've not had anything since I've had community.
Welcome to the Remix Morning Show, y'all. We're going to take a quick break and do us.
That's why I didn't mention the toothache. Yeah, my bad.
Let's do it like this. We out.
Remix!
My life in exchange for yours, bless the whores when it rains and pours. Foundational Black American engaged in war. African be the heritage that came to shores. Mackin' and I'm down for player shit that pays me more. A maid netter, I'm way better than the slave catcher. I can't let them get the game messed up. The game blessed up, I came dressed up like a pallbearer. You in the presence of God, so all hail him. I rose from the Nile, setting goals as a child by the wild papyrus called Osiris by the vial. My proper name, I saw, I came too far to let them cut me in pieces, so I'm putting game in bars. A maid netter and a maid nigga, the same nigga, a brave killer, a certified grave filler, a military-minded great gorilla, getting paid 10 million or better, a motherfucking maid netter. You heard his story. This is our story.
All right, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there and get footage that's rare. Donate where? blkliberationmedia.org. This right here is Vinjaz Radio. Go check it out. Pan-African urban positive music station. The name of this song is Made Nature, a new song that came out by these brothers. So go check it out over at vinjaz.com radio. All right. With that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
RBG gospel, refreshing to the ear like air to the nostrils. I breathe deep to keep it peace and calm, but I drop bombs like Malik Kalam. Made by Mama Nature and Baba Time, engraved with melody flavor and iron spine.
I actually like that one.
Yeah. They got a radio station. For all y'all that's tired of hearing the bullshit on the mainstream, go check that out.
I like that one. Yeah, drop that one in the chat.
I got you.
The link. I want that link.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all get back to work.
Why people remember my toothache? I swear, y'all got. I think that week I wasn't taking the
Shout out to Zero PT for the $4.99. What about that toothache that almost took you out, man?
That was the 1 week that I did not take.
Okay.
The moss.
No sea moss. You didn't pack the sea moss.
I didn't have it. I didn't. That's how I healed faster. Thank you for that. I took it like tobacco.
How did your toothache resolve itself?
Huh? Let's do some more.
It didn't. He has insurance.
Let's do some more news story.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase the question. Did you have the tooth pulled, or what happened?
Well,
it's still in your mouth.
Eventually, no, it's not there anymore.
Oh, okay.
But the pressure, like Evan said, was relieved because of like tobacco.
Next time you get a toothache, you might have to tough through that shit at your age. You better hold on to them teeth, my guy. You can't just be out here getting teeth pulled every time your tooth hurt.
Yeah, get some clothes and stuff like that.
Or run out.
Yeah,
you know, I just want to say,
they come from the earth too.
If you're in the DC area, I just want to say that, you know, Pan-African Community Action is soon launching the People's Pan-African Wellness Front.
Hey.
We will be engaging people around their health, radicalizing them around their needs, connecting those to international and local struggles, and, you know, observing science. So, you know, if you're in the area, please come through when we launch. We'll talk about that more. We'll have probably do an interview or something like that, but more on that to come. You want to go to another story?
Yeah, I got one that from the run sheet. So apparently a judge, I found this interesting. This post was put up by Ben Crump apparently, but it says an Oakland County probate judge who was recorded calling Black Americans lazy pieces of shit and declaring I'm a new racist has retired after I guess a news station's investigation on her. So I don't know how much this actually. I was curious about whether or not they said they caught her on a recording. So let's see.
Breaking news from the 7 investigators. A local judge accused of making racist and homophobic comments is vacating her position after being removed from her docket more than a year ago.
It's a story the 7 investigators first broke in September.
Can you turn it up?
Yes. Investigator Heather Cataldo is here with what she has learned.
This has been a long process. You'll recall we revealed recordings of Judge Kathleen Ryan making some shocking statements. Judge Ryan has essentially been on paid leave for 15 months and once
damn, that's a good gig.
As untouchable. The Judicial Tenure Commission has been investigating this for more than a year, but they did not take action against her. Her lawyers confirming to me late today.
Volume is right side of the screen.
And the vacancy for her position has already been posted by the governor's office for potential candidates to apply for an appointment to the bench.
I can honestly say that, okay, I'm not systemically racist, I'm a new racist.
The 7 investigators were the first to reveal the recordings that Oakland County officials say prompted Judge Kathleen Ryan's removal from her docket in August of 2024.
Black. I'm so off at this Black Lives Matter, hashtag me too. All this, oh my God, I'm like, you.
On Wednesday, a judicial vacancy was posted on the State Bar website saying the former Oakland County Chief Probate Pro Tem Judge was vacating her position on the bench.
Kathleen A. Ryan presiding. Good morning. You may be seated.
Ryan was a probate judge for 13 years until the Oakland County Probate Court administrator filed a complaint against her, alleging Ryan had been harassing him, calling him after hours for years, and making racist and other inappropriate comments.
I've never met anybody that enjoys hurting people and brags about it the way she does, or intimidating people, scaring people.
Hutton says his complaint was not acted on for months, so he then sent the recordings of his calls with Judge Ryan to state and county officials.
I just want to make it right, and I want the people in Oakland County that come to court to get a fair shake, to have their day in court, to have an unbiased trier of facts.
If you're Black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American Black person, then you're a lazy piece of.
Judge Ryan has been paid for the last 15 months while she was out of the courthouse, and taxpayers have been footing the bill for visiting judges to handle her docket. Now her lawyers say she is retiring and leaving the bench.
Judicial Tenure Commission
15 months paid administrative
15
leave.
months. And they did not reach a conclusion. So basically,
recording 15 months paid vacation. and then she left, and then she retired.
Right. So she's still gonna pay for
then you kick her
retirement.
off.
So no accountability or punishment. Not that we knew that was going to happen, right? But I think more importantly, so we're supposed to assume that this very clearly virulent racist white woman who has been a judge for I don't know how many years, why is there not like an immediate call to be like, oh, we need to, your judgment is obviously clearly compromised. We need to go back and look at all of your decisions and check those.
That's the story that I want to know.
You know what I'm saying?
And I just pulled this up because she did say she was a new racist, and I agree with Germ M because new racism looks an awful lot like the old racism to me as well. I agree.
So Kamal, attorney in residence, explain to us in the ways, and this maybe sound like a really ignorant question, but I mean, a probate judge adjudicates people's estates by and large, right? In what ways could she apply her racism? I mean, that's a dumb question, but I'm just trying to think. What does racism from the probate bench look like?
I think you could take several measures, as in she can delay completing probate for people and delaying in which ways when people get their resources. She can appoint outside administrators who get paid out of people's pocket to administer their whatever's left of their wealth or the resources that they had that they were passing on to their family, claiming that people can't handle it or whatever. She can choose sides in terms of who's bringing these particular cases. Again, if someone is battling within family or in-laws or whatever it is, and there are different racial backgrounds or ethnic backgrounds. So there's a bunch of ways in which she can delay, stop, to divert resources to people based on her not her legal views, but obviously based on her ideology, particularly that Black Americans ain't shit and are lazy, and so that therefore, like I remember the case of obviously like James Brown's probate case amongst his family has been tied up in courts for like literally like I don't know, like a decade or like 10, like close to 10 years past his death. And other folks who were famous and who died, they made sure, white folks or whatever, that their probate cases at some point got settled because they knew those were resources that would go back into the family, right? If the resources are held up and they appoint some administrator to distribute the resources or decide how they are spent or how they're invested, that person makes a boatload of money. People don't think that, but they get paid monthly. They may get paid off of sales of property. And depending on who they appoint to do that, to oversee someone's probate or someone's case, like those folks have a lot of control over assets. So there's a various, people don't think because it's not a criminal case, but there's a lot of ways in which their racism impacts how decisions get made.
Is this Oakland County, Michigan?
That I didn't see in the story. That's a good question. When I saw that, I wasn't completely sure.
So I want to ask you guys, I mean, for example, I mean, I know how judges are elected versus appointed differs from state to state, but should people on our side try to use these opportunities to put somebody on the probate bench who has our political bent or leaning? I'm not sure if in that state, whatever state this particular Oakland County is in, I don't know if you actually have to already be a judge. I know in some states it's wonky like that, where you don't actually have to be a judge or have a legal license or anything like that to be selected or run for a judgeship, right? So should we try to take opportunities to place or encourage folks to run in very banal, boring positions as probate judge to help shift the scales in our direction?
Warren, let me say that the space is in Oakland, Michigan.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, Evan.
I mean, no, I don't know. I could see an argument for, if we were, let's say there was an organization that was well placed, right, and organized to do that, to have somebody who had the proper qualifications to put them up for that. Fine, go ahead and do it, right? However, I think we know, broadly speaking, our movement is not organized enough to do that, right? And then I think my other concern is that I think we see these stories, we hear these stories of like excesses, when the excesses fall in line with like the state's like predilections already, right? So you see excesses of like these racist judges doing racist stuff and then not being held accountable for it. You don't necessarily see like radical judges like doing like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think if you had somebody in that spot who were doing the things that we would want them to do, they would be disciplined, right? Like is my assumption, right? You know, so I just don't. I mean, I don't think we're playing like in the same. We're not playing in the same, you know, situation, and it'll always, you know, these positions will always kind of cater to like right wing sentiments and like the state anyway, right? I think, you know, or I would say like organizationally, right? We would say like this is not, that would not be power either, right? We need to kind of direct our people away from these institutions, not further legitimize them.
I agree mostly with what you said. I think about, I mean, probate is an extractive process within itself, right? But the little bit of assets that Black people have in a probate court situation could easily be taken away from said family. So if we had someone there representing our interests, you know what I'm saying, even superficially, way better than this bitch, right? Like Black people are going to find themselves in a probate situation, period. More than likely, right? So wouldn't it be better to have an inside person than count on, you know, whether or not Judge New Racist is having a good or bad day that day?
I mean, in any situation, it's good to not have a virulent racist. Let's just
right, of course,
across the board, any position, any industry. It's just better to not have this virulent racist, right? So I would agree with that point.
I mean, I'm trying to think of how do we look at somebody getting into the game of politics, of all that different type of stuff, and then going to change the game. It's like, but I see what you said, Kim, because it's like, ooh, we could have some Black police officers, and then that way they wouldn't treat us like the white police officers. But it's the same thing, ain't it?
It is, yes.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, and then we expect them to be radical in a state of unradical. I don't get it. I don't know what we expect from people.
No, I think that's a good counter. Like I think it's one of those ongoing arguments that we all have around whether or not, and I don't know how local this particular judgeship is. Like seems like a county level position. There are places where, like historically speaking, there are places where Black folks were the majority, and one of the ways they were most taken advantage of is that people were denied access to the institutions that have real power over our lives because they couldn't vote or even run for some of these institutions. But then I think we flipped it so far where we started to believe that if we got in these positions, that somehow our lives, our collective lives would be better because now we control these institutions. And as we've seen in all Black cities with mostly Black elected officials, judges, county officials, a similar type of racism, whether it's based on more class of, and some of the things that she said, I could hear Black politicians saying some of that shit about us, right? Well, Black folks that we know, like who feel similar, like, you know, we lazy, we don't do this. Bill Cosby, right? Like made the statement about pulling up your pants and blah blah blah. You got what's the other old man who don't want to be called Black? They're called a Black man no more.
Joe Brown.
No. Actor
Morgan Freeman.
Thank you, Morgan Freeman, who's like, don't call me a Black man, who for decades has been shouting out that kind of like, you know, we're all the same, don't focus on race type of stuff. So I can without a politicized, going directly to your doctor's point, without us politicizing a population and people coming from organizations where there potentially is some higher level of accountability, people are far more going to usually side with the oppressive state or the things that they know or whatever their background education tells them is how they should proceed in these matters, which is a lot of times to favor white people, right? Mm-hmm. So I think both things are valid in a sense, but I think certain conditions have to happen in order to say that as part of a larger strategy, we should take over some of these local positions as we destroy the state, or as we challenge the state, or as we fight the state. Right. But I think there's a lot of, rightfully so, like, you know, consternation around how that's done.
Right. And this is the conundrum we've been talking about on Saturday now for years now, right? Like the whole process of electoral politics and the futility of it, and trying to determine, like, is it even worth being bothered? But then at the same time, we have to be clear that in saying we're going to separate ourselves, you don't separate yourself from the policy, right? Like you're still living under whatever system, policy, constraint, all of those things get put in place. And in not participating, you essentially leave the decision for all of those things up to the people you probably least want making those decisions. And so it's a real and this is a struggle for me, like whenever we have these conversations, because like realistically, I'm very clear that we can't fix the system. You can't change it from the inside. You can't reform it. You can't do any of those things. And I have witnessed countless people get in under the guise of change, and we're going to do this thing and we're going to make things different and whatever. And then that never happens. And then the Democrats run every 4 years on Republicans are bad and it'll be a little bit better with us. And everybody goes back to brunch when the Democrats are in power. And so we're like trapped. We're trapped in this never ending cycle of like crumbs, right? Nothing actually ever getting improving, nothing actually improving and getting better. None of those things. But that's in part because, you know, the only thing that I can think of is you try to send somebody in there who maybe can break it, right? And actually do a thing. I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but you know, something you gotta have, something's got to give, right? Like something's got to give. And I would much prefer for somebody to go in and cause absolute havoc by trying to break everything into, you know, with 2 years that they're in there, and then see what, you know, where that goes, because that's yet to happen. So
yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
I was gonna say I just highlighted a story on the run sheet, that pig that killed Sonia Massey. I wanted to talk about that.
Okay, I'll bring it up.
Thank you, everybody, for watching Remix Morning Show, Black Liberation Media. Please go get your Black Liberation Media merch, blkliberationmedia.org. You can also sign up to become a monthly sustaining member there, or you can head on over to patreon.com/Black Liberation Media, or become a YouTube member here. We see our folks reasserting themselves as YouTube members back on the channel. So thank you all so much for everybody that's done that. Evan, Kamal, Renee, Kim, and the doctor. Next story.
I love that radio. I love the radio voice, Kim. Yeah,
I know it's the best. It's the best.
Yes, it's amazing.
Oh, y'all are kind. Quiet storm blowing. Y'all don't remember the quiet storm. Evan, you was made to the quiet storm out here.
I was exactly.
Evan was made during Love TKO times.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Let's get to this story. Y'all. All right. So, headline: a former Illinois deputy is sentenced to 20 years in prison for killing Sonia Massey. Right? On its face, seems like a good thing, right? And any amount of time this person is under a jail, fine. I'm okay with. Just want to point out a couple of things in this article, though, right? First of all, they were convicted in October of second-degree murder for the murder of Sonia Massey, right? So second-degree murder. Keep that in mind. Grayson, let's know his name, right? Has been incarcerated since he was charged and received the maximum possible sentence, right? That's the way the article frames it at the front end, right? But it's important to note that he was originally charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, which could have led to a life sentence, but the jury convicted him of a lesser charge. Illinois allows for a second-degree murder conviction if evidence shows the defendant honestly thought he was in danger, even if that fear was unreasonable. Right now, as it is, he's already been serving time, right? So with a day shaved off his sentence for every day of good behavior, plus credit for nearly 19 months already spent behind bars, Grayson could be released in just under 8.5 years. And on the face, right? Like I said, like on its face, this is good, right? But I think the way that this article is framed in of itself is misleading, right? Starting with this idea that he was charged as hard as possible, burying the lead that they reduced the charges off, within the case, right? At the end of the day, like, this is a sacrificial pig, like we've seen before, right? And they downgraded the sentencing, which is really important to note. It's also, they also call out the fact that the case, which I mean, I'm sure all, if not many of us saw, right? That horrific murder. The case also generated a U.S. Justice Department inquiry that was settled when the county agreed to implement what? More de-escalation training and collect more use of force data. The sheriff who hired Grayson was forced to retire, and the case prompted a change in Illinois law requiring fuller transparency on the backgrounds of candidates for law enforcement jobs. Warburton said that the law should be implemented at the federal level. So charges were downgraded, right? At the end of the day, the time he's serving, right, is a pittance, right, given what he did, the cold-blooded murder that he committed. And the law, right, even the law is already shaped to get these pigs off, right? You know, like this idea that even if it were unreasonable fear, he was still in fear for his life. Fear of what, right? So yeah, so I just want to, you know, put this out there, right? Because I think that, again, this is part of the way in which our media apparatus convinces us or tries to convince us that, like, no, like this is a bad egg, this is a bad apple. The system is working. See it applied. It provided justice, right? We can go, you know, we're going to do make some edits, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, fix some things, right? And this all going to be good.
I remember this story because I remember the video,
yeah,
whether it was the body cam or whatever, like it just showed, again, that this woman called the cops because she feared there was a prowler. And they circled out, and at no point did they ever have to enter her house.
Right.
It was the police who kept escalating the situation.
Right.
They went around, again, she called the cops because she was scared. They showed up, they looked around the house, and they could have easily said, ma'am, we don't see any prowlers, we don't see anybody, have a nice night. And left, but they kept escalating and wanting to see more and know more, and basically bamboozled her into letting them into her house, looking around her house, calling her over to the warden to turn it off. Again, they kept instigating, and then in their own mind started to perceive danger because it was a Black woman, because it was a Black person. Whereas this pig pulled out his gun, and shot this woman who had no weapon whatsoever on her, claiming that he was scared about the scalding water. So they escalated, and created the danger that was never there in their mind in order to have an excuse to shoot this person, or just because of the ways in which they like to think that they want to be in control of every situation, because that's what their training tells them, that someone who may be having a mental has mental illness or is not responding directly to their orders the way in which they want, orders which they should not even have been given.
Right.
You check the outside of the house, get in your fucking car and go, right? But no, they have to make the person submit or subdue them or let them know that they're in charge of the situation, right? And this woman had to yell had the audacity to yell out a Bible verse. That was her crime. She yelled out a Bible verse at the cop. So it's crazy on its face. Like, you're right. Like, he obviously made statements that he feels terrible and so forth and so on. But he put himself in a position because he's a cop. Why'd you come into this woman's house in the first place?
Yeah, you notice I didn't mention any of the apology stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
And there's only apologies on the back end because again, it was the videotape. If there was no videotape, that write-up in the report would have been, she threw scalding hot water.
Yes.
I took my gun out to defend myself because I thought she was going for a knife in her kitchen, and I had no choice but to shoot her. His partner would have signed that. He signed that. That would have been the end of the whole story. No, in fact, we would not even have heard of it on the news. It might have been a blurb in a newspaper report, but that would have been the end of the story.
He discouraged his partner from rendering aid to her after he shot her, and then he disparaged her while she's still bleeding out in her apartment outside the body cam. He was heard calling her a crazy bee. He had no remorse for doing this to Sonia Massey, and in fact, her family are understandably upset that a first-degree murder conviction wasn't able to be gotten because he said, "I will shoot you in the face," and then he shot her in the face. That is premeditation. That is first-degree murder all day. And I appreciate you bringing this up, Evan, because when I heard 20 years, I was excited, right? Oh, good. Okay, great. He's going to do 20 years. But when you do all the calculations about how he might get out serving less than half of that, it gets a little bit deflating. But this is where I think we can try to get creative in the ways that we try to get justice for our folks, actual justice, right? To me, justice doesn't come from the gavel or from a jury box in a courtroom. It comes from karmic justice coming onto them, right? So this is for entertainment purposes only, what I'm about to say. How can we incentivize our folks behind the wall who have a very keen sense of justice and dispensing justice? I mean, it'd be awesome if we can incentivize them to make sure that Sean Grayson's 8.5 years behind bars is the most excruciating 8.5 years that he ever has to do, right? That he is scared to eat. He's scared to go to the bathroom. He's scared to do everything. I want him to live in constant fear of his life. And I think that we need to support our folks behind the wall that do this kind of work, because it is work, right? They deal with the abusers. They deal with the child sex abusers, the domestic violence people, the rapists in their way. And we need to support them when they do that, right? So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there for entertainment purposes only.
Something else we talked about this last week as a story, whether or not I think we did this early Tuesday, whether or not there would be a shutdown, because the Democrats were angry. They were angry at what was happening in terms of ICE attacking people on the street, and they were going to insist that the policies change, and that there was such anger building that there were going to be a shutdown led by the Democrats. Hence, a week has passed, and the Democrats' White House strike spending deal that would avert a government shutdown. And so, as predicted, I think by most of us, the Democrats were not interested in any kind of shutdown whatsoever. They were interested in the politics of being in opposition to Trump without doing anything to stop the very thing that they claim they're in opposition to. So really quickly, Democrats in the White House struck a deal to avert a partial government shutdown and temporarily fund the Department of Homeland Security as they consider new restrictions for President Donald Trump's surge of immigration enforcement. But this was interesting too. But passage was delayed late Thursday as leaders scrambled to win enough support for the agreement before the midnight Friday deadline. Who are they scrambling to win support from? Not the Democrats. It is breakaway Republicans who do not like the spending bill, who, in spite of their loyalty to Trump, who are the ones actually suggesting that too much resources are being spent, and they're the ones who are holding up this deal, not the Democrats, who have all fell in line to give Trump what he wants, which is to pass whatever budget Trump has suggested, and to claim that they're going to come back later on and discuss ways in which they can rail in ICE's excessive tactics.
So what happened? Did they avert the shutdown? Isn't the government partially shut down? I haven't turned on the TV, and all they've been talking about on local DC news is the damn snow and the au pair murder case. They don't talk about shit else. But anyway, is the government not partially shut down?
No, I don't think the government is not partially shut down.
I actually thought it was. I thought that's what they said.
What part is shut down?
Partial Homeland Security funding.
Yeah, there's like a partial because there has to be whatever they quote unquote agreed to. It was like a 2-week window for them to come to a full agreement. So until that window ends, it's a partial look. And y'all know I barely listen, but this is WBAI, which is the only reason that I even know that this is the case, is because they were talking about it on WBAI in the morning.
And please, do you have in front of you, Renee, list out them weak ass demands that the Democrats are insisting upon in order to fund Homeland Security? I said, you niggas is weak as shit.
I can look for it.
I got to look it off memory, but basically they are asking Democrats are demanding an end to these random roving raids, right? Raiding and kidnapping people without warrants. They're against that. They want body cams, and there was a third thing. I'm like, all these demands are weak as shit, dog. Every single one of them. But yeah. So I guess they
just
didn't
for
get
clarity. Even the partial shutdown, I think you guys are correct. Nothing was passed, but it's because of the Republicans. It is not because the Democrats are behind it. It's because there's Mike in the House is struggling to get Republicans to vote for president, to vote to reopen. They're the ones who are making demands right now. The Democrats agreed with the White House in terms of whatever their agreements were and voted to keep the government open. It is the Republican side that's saying that they're not down with a full reopening based on whatever numbers or disagreements that they have with Trump.
And this is in the Senate side, right? Because the House has already voted and sent the spending bill over, and this is the Senate that is not voting to fund the government right now. Is that correct?
Well, Evan dropped the article in the chat from PBS News, and I haven't. I was actually reading the one from The Guardian. So
we're here reading government shutdown enters day 4 as lawmakers gear up for a house-wide vote on Trump's back to deal.
We back to the House now. All right.
Right. I mean, and I think, yeah, so there's a partial shutdown, right? But I think what's important to pull out of this, right, is that there is no real contradiction between the Democrats and Republicans, as Ricky said in the chat, right? What the Democrats won't do is slash the ICE budget. We know they won't do that, right? So, I mean, yeah. I mean, really, this is another situation where the Democrats are going to blink during a game of chicken, you know what I'm saying, as they always do.
I'm so sick of all of them. They're so feckless, man. Like they all suck. They just suck.
Didn't they do a little grandstanding thing late last week about Homeland Security is under control? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I thought I saw.
Yeah, they always do that.
And hollering out there.
Yeah, they do that. And then they, I swear that it's like they have a meeting and they say, okay, like you 5 go out there and pretend that you're against this thing. Now, there's no way we can get it done, but at least we can prove that some of us are fighting the fight. And then they send 6 people out to be the sacrificial lambs to say that, they're gonna try and get Kristi Noem, pulled and like all this nonsense. And then nothing ever happens. And in the end, it's because this was all agreed to. Like I'm firmly of the belief that this is what happens. Like they draw straws, and whichever 5 or 6 people or a dozen people or whatever number of people they can convince to go do the things so that they can pretend that they're doing something that they all know isn't going to happen, because in the end, they're all, as I say all the time, shout out to George Calloway, they are both cheeks of the same ass.
Thanks, man.
All right. Let's take a quick break, y'all. Find another story. I don't know what story y'all want to pull up, but.
So, did you get an email from me, Air Doctor?
What is it? The Epstein stuff? That might be.
Mm-mm. Did you get any email from me?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Oh, so that means Kamal got an email from me. See?
Oh, that does not mean you didn't tell Kamal to look for an email?
You sure didn't.
I sure did text Kamal during the last break. It said, "Hey, check your email."
Oh, that's a different thing.
I'm looking at it now.
I
didn't look at the text.
Well, y'all get that together. We're gonna take a quick break right here on the Remix Morning Show. What's up, y'all? This is the Remix Morning Show. This is Black Liberation Media, and this is the best channel that you're ever going to watch on YouTube. So stop playing yourself and let somebody know that this is where they need to be. They need to be checking out the shows that we got. We actually have a dope show that we had all the hosts come at once, and we're talking about myths. Yes, let's get to it. Let's see, they are talking about non-violence and violence. What's the difference? Let's go see what they're talking about right here.
So the definition of violence is simple: an action or practice that physically harms or threatens to physically harm another person. So we're not dealing with, I know some people want to talk about like psychological violence and mental, that's not within the scope of how we're discussing it. I'm not saying it doesn't have legitimacy, but that's just not in the scope of how we're discussing it. And then the definition of nonviolence, a form of collective action that seeks to affect social, political, or economic status quo without using violence or threat of violence against people to do so. So these are the definitions that one of the most foremost scholars on this topic offers. It does not mean we necessarily even agree with these definitions entirely, but these are definitions that we're operating from, in which we're going to try to tease out, and in some ways maybe even flip on their head.
Go check it out. The Black Miss Podcast right here on Black Liberation Media. Hit that like button, become a member, and do all the things to keep this channel going. All right, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Is it today like hip hop?
Shout out.
Huh?
Ain't it like hip hop? Where's Minister Server at with the hip hop message?
No, it's Thursday, man. Stop.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
He misses it. Maybe that is our sign to add more hip hop stories to the week.
I know. I do miss it.
I enjoy them quite a bit.
I enjoy them also. Me and Minister Server, two experts in the field.
That's what.
Only thing you and Mr. Server got in common, y'all both old niggas from New York. That's it.
Hey, don't say that. He's from Jersey.
My bad, Minister Server.
We different.
Yo, shout out to the Black Miss Podcast. Shout out to Two Black. Like that piece on violence and nonviolence is excellent. Definitely will be circulating that around my family and friends to instigate conversations.
Does Christianity teach violence and nonviolence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually it does.
Mm-hmm. It does.
All right.
Here, Doc. You want to talk about Epstein? I know you've been itching. We got.
I mean, why? People been asking about it. So even in the comments yesterday, it was like, hey, Epstein. Y'all ain't gotta talk about it. Y'all do whatever y'all want.
Well, I brought whatever y'all wanted. I brought up Kim. I brought up your stories.
It doesn't matter. Some shit is old now. I mean, I think I included like Kathy Hochul is proposing something along the lines of what Brandon Johnson is talking about in Chicago. She's proposing something similar in New York. I'm not sure if the New Yorkers would be interested in that. I don't have a problem talking about Epstein because the shit is crazy and all roads lead back to Israel. Apparently, like Epstein himself was just a mission in order to get blackmail materials on anyone that you can think of. And it's like they all know each other. They all move in the same circles. It's all very incestuous and weird and gross and disgusting. And I don't see why these people are still breathing. Shame on us. Like we let, all these pedophiles move freely and comfortably. That should not be the case.
This is how twisted the story is. I saw what's the House member from Georgia that just retired? Marjorie Taylor?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
What she did an ex post that said that this basically saying how vile it was and that both parties were just a club. Both parties are engaged in this. This is how crazy the story is. That someone who was 3 months ago was a rabid Trump Republican who I guess left the party or was pushed out, wrote a story basically something that we might agree with in a sense of like having the idea of like this is all one big club and it doesn't matter which party they're from because they're all part of this, from the Clintons to the Trumps to all the folks in between. Every single page, I haven't dug too deep. I was looking for a story now. Every single page demonstrates that both sides of the aisle and what a political club it is in terms of the richest, the intellectuals, all in contact with each other, paving the way for not only their debauchery, but for policy and ideas to come through. I don't want to say everything came through Epstein by any stretch of the imagination, but how this was one gathering space, or this person was an anchor for the rich and powerful and famous to gather together for debauchery and for politics.
Yeah. And if you want to throw some Negroes in there, allegedly, both Jay-Z and Pusha T's name appear in the Epstein files. not just appear, but I think Pusha T is accused of doing something exceedingly heinous. Accused, we in the score of that. But woo, when you want to run with them circles, when you want to be the rap billionaire nigga, you're gonna run with some disgusting folks.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I'm also kind of sticking with me that I've seen people talking about on social media is just like the kind of like show of it all, like the performative nature of all this, right? Because what we're doing, right? We're being exposed to videos, documentation, alleging the most, as you said, Kim, like the most heinous things you can do to a person, up to and including murder. I will say, right? And all of these people are like, what happens next, right? Like, are any of these people going to be charged, right? Are any of these people going to be facing any type of accountability? Is anything structurally going to be changing, right? Based off of like no, right? So this is just, I don't know, man. I mean, like distraction or a spectacle, or like whatever you want to call it, right? But I just think like that has been sticking with me, right? So I'm like, how long is this going to go for before the news cycle moves on? None of these people are held accountable or punished, right? And the U.S. continues to wage war on Venezuela and Cuba and Iran. You know what I'm saying? Like it just ad infinitum.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, like this. I mean, it's political football of, and again, we'll read the story a little bit about how folks, again, so many people were involved, visited, went to the island, went to the parties, and I guess maybe they didn't think there was the email capture, right? Again, 3 million files were released, that people are backtracking, or will have to be backtracking in terms of like, oh, I barely knew the dude. And it's like, here, you're saying, when is the next party? Hey, I love spending time with you. Hey, can I meet this one up next, or something like that? So all these stories about people backing away and suggesting they barely knew them. They went to one thing, and then all the files with all they meet. And again, which the both sides playing political football, but then there's this constituency of people who are mostly conspiratorial folks, but not exclusively, who saw these files as a key to unlocking, again, folks involved in pornography and child molestation and child rape as a particular key to discovering sort of like an Illuminati type grouping of people who were controlling the planet. And a lot of it was either through Epstein or with Epstein. And so really quick, it says the disclosure of more than 3 million files. Again, the government has been forced to release these files because whether Republicans or Democrats, involved for their different reasons, said, hey, let's get these files released. There's pressure building.
A small fraction of the total amount of files, by the way.
Still, that's a small, oh, wow. Disclosure of more than 3 million files related to Jeffrey Epstein suggests that other men were involved in this sexual abuse, prompting questions about officials' contention that there isn't evidence to investigate third parties for potential involvement in the late financier's crimes. Some newly released documents contain allegations that Epstein provided victims to other men. Documents released in prior disclosures, as well as court documents, also point to other possible criminal involvement with Epstein and his accomplice, Maxwell. Other accusers, one accuser said that Maxwell told her that Epstein had to leave his house, but there was a friend staying that who could give massages. During this encounter, the associate allegedly offered her money if she engaged in sex. The woman alleged that she did so and that this friend paid her money. A prosecution memorandum dated January 26, 2021, and signed by Assistant U.S. Attorney General. Again, these documents, people are pouring through these documents. I think the first release of these documents included nude photos of young women, and the Justice Department was supposed to redact those photos. But the original these files, those photos were not redacted. There is a claim that some of those folks may have been underage girls, and not just young-looking women. And so that was all just put out there. And again, influential people after influencer and other influential people who again are claiming not to be associated or have much contact, continually pop up in the files as having direct contact and direct messages between them and Epstein, wanting to go to more parties and be involved in more events and so forth and so on. And again, I think as Kim is pointing out, Epstein had a mission with some of this stuff, right? Some of this was for Epstein ways and for him to, again, make sure that Israel was covered or that Israel was getting what it wanted, both monetarily and policy-wise from the United States and other public officials.
The release. Oh, go ahead, Renee. I'm sorry.
I actually was gonna stay on mute. I don't even like what Evan said is how I feel, right? Like I feel like there are all these people who have been done incredible harm. There is probably who knows how many hundreds or thousands of people who aren't even acknowledged in any of this stuff that's happened. And meanwhile, the people who caused the harm, they're good. They're just, they're just doing whatever. And, part of the reason that I don't talk about these files is because the people who are most impacted by what these people did are the people who are going to see the least amount of anything if there's any easing that can be done for any of the people who were harmed, it's not going to happen in all likelihood, because in the end, it is all like the story is talking about who's in the files. Like there's no one calling for, and listen, this is coming from the person who don't believe in none of this prison shit. But they're not even pretending like they're gonna try and investigate. And like all people want to talk about is who's in the file, whose name got, who's there, right? Like who are we gonna have any conversation about addressing the actual behavior of these people and the stuff that happened to the people that were involved in this, right? Like what are we doing right now? And so I actually, for the most part, I have stayed very far away from this whole conversation because I'm so disgusted, not by people, not by you all talking about it. I'm disgusted by the framing of this conversation as if the biggest problem is whose name is on the list. How about we do something about what happened? How about we address the people who were involved? How about we find some way to get people out of positions of power, out of positions of government, out of positions like, how about that, right? But we're never doing that. Like, people spend so much time talking about, oh, the crime. And the people who commit the biggest crimes are the people who steal wages and don't pay their taxes. That's the majority. Millions, right? No one cares about them because you're worrying about the dude who jumped the turnstile because he doesn't have $3, right? Like, it's just so fucking infuriating. I hate it here. I really do. I hate it.
One of the things that is so terrible about this latest documents release, I think Kamal touched on it. I mean, the Department of Justice made little to no effort to redact explicit images of underage folks. They exposed the identities of accusers. They exposed people who had made complaints under Jane Doe pseudonyms, and these people's identities have been exposed. However, the accused, the violators, the rapists, the child sex traffickers, their names have been redacted. Their personal information has been kept quiet, kept blacked out. All the more reason to go burn down the fucking FBI building for entertainment purposes only, of course. But in this moment, I'm kind of loath to give any credit to British press for obvious reasons. But when I tell you they are dragging Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, when I tell you they are dragging Lord Peter Mendelsohn, the former U.S. ambassador, British ambassador to the UK and a member of the House of Lords, very, very influential and prominent member of, you know, the British political aristocracy, when I tell you they are dragging them. And Mendelsohn is accused of like kicking it with Epstein, right? Like they haven't even said that Mendelsohn like did anything to her. He probably did, but that's not what he's being accused of. He's being accused of his close proximity to Epstein, sharing very sensitive information about British political goings-ons, and Epstein breaking him and his husband off with some bucks, right? They're not even saying Mendelsohn trafficked but my point is this, but the British public is outraged that this man who was I think Keir Starmer just put this nigga out the Labour Party. Like it's all performative and symbolic and all that, but it's like at least something is being fake done over there about the release of this information for people who have far fewer heinous accusations against them than than Trump and those in his orbit. So I just wanted to point that out. If you want to see some outrage, go tune into the British media, because Andrew, they are dragging this man left and right, and you kind of do love to see that.
Yeah, one of the most disturbing photos I did see was a photo of what so-called Prince Andrew, where he's like on his hands and knees over a woman who looks very young.
Oh my God.
And looks like she's kind of passed out or like out of it. It's yeah, man. It's gross. And yeah,
Hugh Hefner on the next level.
Yeah,
which is very true, and it's so shocking. Like Hugh Hefner survived it all, right? In terms of until his death, like prominent. No one accused it. No huge accusations that brought him down. No mass stories and about what took place at the Playboy Mansion, but obviously it being this gathering space for, again, politicians, entertainers, sports figures, men who wanted to have their way with women, and maybe women of certain ages or certain looks. But basically it felt like it was a house of prostitution in which Hugh Hefner was the king of, but no one talks about Hugh Hefner in the same ways, or even suggest that there's something further to look at in terms of the same ways. Not only how he built his fortune, but again, what the Playboy Mansion represented in terms of illicit and potentially illegal behavior when it came to women, right?
Yeah, we used to rock the Playboy bunny shirts back in the day.
I was about to say, I was like the amount of like social capital, or like the way in which like that. The Playboy Mansion, the Playboy Bunnies, that logo, all that is just in like, you know, U.S. culture. And there's nothing about like, to your point, there's nothing about like the massive amounts of assault, rape, all of it, right? That was that he was implicated in. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, another great show, yo.
I'm sorry, doctor. The one thing I wanted to point out, right, and this unites all of it from Revolutionary Women's Radio. Every colonial empire is built on sexual violence, exploitation, human trafficking. This is deeply embedded and normalized in societal culture. So, you know, this cannot be said enough, right? Like these are the symptoms, right, that come out of a society that is built on this, right? So getting rid of these individual people is not going to solve it. You have to have a revolution and rip it out from the root. You know what I mean? If you want to get rid of this. But sorry, that's my last thought.
All right, I think you probably got one more. What's going on with you next, Evan?
Well, I do want to highlight, sorry, I know we barely have time for it, but right, as I said, you know, the U.S. is continuing its war, its assault on Cuba. There has been a recent executive order that came out on the 29th, right? So there's, I put it in the chat just on the anniversary of the launching of the Zone of Peace. BAP is calling out this murderous assault on the Cuban people and the revolution. And again, really calling on all of us, right, to stand in solidarity and to make these connections, right? So yeah, we don't have time to read it here, but I want to put that in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
please do. Well, we going back to Canada, Renee? What we doing for Saturday? going back to Canada.
No, actually, we're going to be pre-recorded on Saturday, but it's a good one because we're going to be talking to EJ and Luna Oy again. And Alchemy is going to join, and so we're going to have another conversation, follow-up conversation on Materialist. Oh, why did I just blank? My head hurts. I haven't had my coffee yet. I've been watching Evan drink his coffee in actual like disdain because I haven't. Materialism. There you go. Dialectic materialism. That's where I was going with that. My bad. So that will be on Saturday.
Awesome. All right. Me and Kim ain't really, our brains all over the place. So I don't know if we'll be doing the classical breakdown this week.
I mean,
probably
yes,
do a mix.
I would like to. I would know. Why not? Why?
Because listen, Kim, I tell you Sundays, if we don't talk Sundays and I don't get to put up a thumbnail.
No, I talked to you yesterday. Did you or did you not tell me you was gonna call me back? I'm gonna call you back. Because you was out running errands, and I said, well, call me back when you're done your errands and we can brainstorm. Because I want to do a CB mini. I either want to do SWV or Drew Hill. Let's put it to the people right now. Chat. We're gonna do
definitely ain't gonna be Drew Hill.
Why not?
SWV. You said SWV?
Yeah, you can do SWV.
Hold on. Back up.
All right. So what you got going on, Kamal?
Wait. What's the Drew Hill slander? What's the Drew Hill slander?
How much Drew Hill are you gonna do?
Exactly. We're gonna do beauty in my bedroom.
I need y'all again. Look at you can tell the people with no taste. You can tell the people with no taste, sir. While you was listening to original gun clappers, some of us was listening to Drew Hill. I was listening to both, to be clear. I was listening to all of it, and niggas be trying to shit on Drew Hill. Drew Hill made an impact on the genre. Okay, they did it for the culture, and they are from Baltimore.
They did it for the culture.
They do it for the. Oh! I take it as a challenge now. Okay, guess what? It's Drew Hill. It's Drew Hill for the CB.
You gonna put together enough Drew Hill music?
So come for our 15-minute show.
You're on mute, dog.
I'm talking to my fucking self. Called a CB mini, a mini, MINI. Are we all clear on the definition of mini?
Am I on mute?
Nah, you're on mute. All right, so
a classical breakdown mini episode is not a whole hour. It's probably going to be about 20 or 30 minutes. That's the point. That's the point.
Somebody
not everybody has
they
an
can
hour.
hear me speak.
All right, so I guess I'll put something. We'll talk after the show.
Evan, say something.
Peace and love to all the people in the chat. Like, share, subscribe. Remix Morning Show. We're doing our best here. Appreciate y'all.
Use your heart.
I think it's Kamal. If Kamal can't hear nothing, it's because it's Kamal. It's something he did.
Excellent way
to end the show. Something he did.
I'm down for SWV, but all right, Kamal.
Nah, it's Drew Hill. Just because you talk shit, we gonna do Drew Hill. Just because you was talking shit, I got to show. Now I can show you better than I can tell you, Ear Doctor, about the hits that Drew Hill gave to the culture for the mid to the late 1990s. But that's okay. I can show you better. I can tell you. No worries.
Y'all better tune in and find out if Kim is right or not. Some classical breakdown, 11 a.m. Thursday. All right, have a great rest of y'all day. Come back tomorrow for some more remix with Women's Wednesday. And listen, go out there and make something happen, man. Peace out, y'all. Remix Morning Show. Yeah. Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.